Morning. I'm here with Dr. Colin Campbell, who is the author of the China Study and Forks Over Knives in the movie. And I'm very honored and pleased to be with you today, Dr. Campbell.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work. I'd like you to tell people how your research showed that the plant-based diet is helpful to their health.
Well, first off, it took about 50 years.
It took about 50 years.
We started out, in the beginning with an idea in mind. It was almost the antithesis of this.
Right.
In other words, I came from dairy farm and was into science in terms of trying to increase consumption of animal-based foods and animal protein. So we started doing research, experimental research.
Okay.
And as I got into that over the years, I kept running into things that seemed to be heresies.
Right.
And finally, all these different heresies seemed to be networked together to create a new idea.
And the new idea was that
the whole plant-based foods.
that dairy and meat products were actually harming people.
Right.
And you went to India, wasn't it? Not India. You went to the Philippines.
Philippines first, and later China.
Okay. Now, one of the important things I'd like to you've also said on committees.
Right.
And our government takes these committees and uses their recommendations to tell American people what to eat.
Right.
What did you see on these committees? Why are we not hearing the information that you're telling us?
Well, these committees oftentimes are said to be government committees, and to some extent they are organized by the government.
Right.
On the one hand, on the other hand, regardless whether the government is doing it or whether it's some distinguished other group, like the National Academy of Science, for example, or some other professional group, what basically is at the bottom line of all of this is that the industry, the food and drug industries in particular, they're controlling this activity.
Right.
Because behind the scenes, and the public tends not to know.
And so we get these recommendations that are because the food and drug industry are funding them instead.
Well, either funding, sometimes, for the most part, they're using taxpayer money.
Right, they're using taxpayer money.
Taxpayer money is organized to put together these programs and these complex subjects. And so what happens, especially in more recent years, is that the chair is chosen first.
Okay, so the chair of the committee is
so that when that occurs, the industry is close enough to the situation that for the institution going to choose a chair is not going to offend on the minimum.
Right.
The industry, maybe get somebody who actually is very much involved in the industry. And then that chair, in turn, will help to select the other members.
And control the outcome of
the word control is really true. Whether it's intentional or otherwise, it's still beside the point. On these committees are people of like mind.
And then melting
representing the point of view.
melting down.
Well, I don't want to give it all away because I want people to go and watch Forks Over Knives. My husband and I have changed our entire life. We both are eating plant-based and have had health benefits from it. So if you want to close, if you were going to tell Washington one thing that could be done to improve our health system, what should our legislators be doing?
Well, I operate at fairly high levels in the government, know a lot of people at that level, and I naively thought that come from the top down it might be helpful. And I got involved in this sort of formal way of thinking that way and visiting with people. And these individuals, I can sit down at the table and talk to them and tell them about this. As individuals, they can understand the problem.
Right.
Even when they're professionals. The problem is, though, is that when they go back and sit in their chairs, if they're elected officials, they're not going to get real.
Right. Well, they need the money from these industries.
Or if they're individuals who are, in fact, being hired by people who are getting the same thing, to lose a job. So I just have given up on this silly idea of going from the top down.
So you think it needs to come from the bottom up? The people need to speak. Okay. Well, I agree with you, and I will be putting this information out on my radio. I do a radio show, the Amy Kids Show. It's a progressive radio show, and we will be telling people about this. So thank you so much for your work. It's been an honor meeting you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.